We're live. Oh, hold on. Let me tell IG to get in here. We're not doing a new post. We're just going live. Hey guys, it's Nikki with the homeschool knockouts, and this is a surprise homeschool pop-up live. Let me take a swig of my kombucha, which is homemade, by the way. I got blackberries in it. I'm doing blends now because I think I'm fancy. So guys, hey Sabrina, Kinsey, come on over to YouTube. It's Homeschool Knockouts on YouTube. I'm going to be over there talking, taking your questions on homeschool. So come over there and check us out. Bring your questions, your wonderings, your concerns, your stories, your testimonials. Oh, let me bring my bell. All right. In case you guys want to share any wins. Hey guys, Kinsey, we out here homeschool. You guys come on over to my YouTube channel. It should be in the bio. It is Homeschool Knockouts on YouTube. So I'm going to end this in about 1 minute. You guys head on over there. MZ Knox, art by Elena. I see all of you. Thank you for the hearts. This is going to be quick. What I'm trying to do is get a feel for what's a good time to go live. I know a lot of you guys homeschool during the day, so it's like, you know, you have a job. And for me, excuse me guys, I have a sweet spot each day, kind of in the afternoon, that varies by 1 to 2 hours. So I'm just trying out some times to see what you know, what resonates most with all of you guys. Hey, love for all. So come on in, come on in. Come on in. So IG, I will see you over on Homeschool Knockouts on my YouTube channel. The link is in the bio somewhere. And if you can't find it, go to YouTube, type in Homeschool Knockouts, and I should come right on up. Love you guys. Bye-bye. Okay. All right, guys. So bring me some questions. I didn't want to come with a prepared topic because, number one, I just had this severe case of allergies that just took over me from last night. And two, I don't know if this is a good time for a lot of you guys. So, hey, Malibu and Joya, I see some of you guys coming over from IG. Hey guys. And so I'm trying out to see what's a good time for you guys. Yeah, I'm fine actually. This is the second time it's happened, and I took quercetin, which worked for 1 day, and I didn't up the dose, and then I switched to local honey, which knocked it out really quickly. I don't have allergies. I never had. And starting last year, I think I had like a week where I had allergies. I didn't put 2 and 2 together. And then earlier this year in January, I had them really bad for about 2 weeks, and I took some things for it. And now I think it's for my dog. Yesterday, I was doing some deep spring cleaning, had dog hair everywhere. I got a lab, and baby, um, it's been messing with my nose, but I got some remedies for it. So so I'm good. So if you guys have any questions, I want to talk about Happy Monday DIY. Happy Monday. I'm just telling IG, I'm just leaving a note. Homeschool Pop Out on YouTube. Come join. Link in bio. Okay, link in bio. All right. Any questions? How is homeschooling going for you guys? How come I can't do no post? Go. How is homeschooling going? I would really like to know. You know how we used to do on our our Friday night lives? You know, I have the bell. Remember, any win that you have, no matter how atomically small or grand, is a win that we want to share with everybody. And then people start to understand what a win looks like. And they start to readjust. Hold on. I don't know if this phone is really off, so I'm just going to put it down over here. So I don't really. So I want people to see what those wins look like. Let me put this on airplane mode. All right. So does anybody want to share anything? Homeschooling is going smoother than last year. I like that, love for all. Give me one example why. Is it because you have one extra year of experience under your belt? Are your children older? So now they're able to kind of go along with the system or the plan, or just be a little bit more accountable. Maybe you implemented a routine or a system that works for you and the kids. So maybe that's why. And I'm not blowing my nose. I just felt this pressure right here. And I really want to take my quercetin, my herb, but it's downstairs. So, so what do you think? Part of having successes and wins and failures and making mistakes is the self-reflection part. And that helps you, because you're not always going to be making mistakes. You're not always going to be successful. So when you have that self-reflection, you can look back and be like, okay, this is what I did. This is what I didn't do. And then you can start building your legacy, your game plan for how to deal with things. I'll share a story if you guys a little shy right now, or maybe you're in the middle of something and you can really only listen. Like, this year has been a little bittersweet for me, homeschooling wise, because my oldest son, his second year in public school, he's a sophomore. And so things are just always different without that extra child in the house, that extra dynamic. And then my middle child is in 8th grade, and I don't know what he wants to do. He applied to a couple of magnet high schools, and got some comments. I'll come back to my story in a minute. All right, what does Malibu say? I am fighting through 6th grade. Okay, I have a 6th grader. Let's see what's going on with you. He will do math with no problem, but everything else we have to talk through. He just doesn't want to do it, especially writing. So, but I saw, it sounds like a problem, but actually I hear something very good in this. Everything else you have to do, you have to talk through. That's good to me. Okay? Because that's, how do you think world events and projects and things are begun? With talking, with communication. When you communicate, it's easy to put those Jedi mind tricks or to drop those seeds that can be harvested later. So what's the talk? Is it, now when you're saying talking, is it a battle talk? Is it like, I don't want to do this, this is stupid, then that's kind of like a one-sided conversation. That's just monologue on his point. But if you're talking back and forth, okay, why don't you want to do this? Are you struggling with this? What are you struggling with? Well, I don't understand how to do this. Well, do you want to try it this way, or do you want to try something else? And maybe let's do another subject and we can come back to this one. If you're having a constructive dialogue, that's good. Remember, things are going to be messy, and you two are learning and building, and you're modeling to him how to navigate out of quicksand, how to navigate out of situations that he doesn't want to do. Either he doesn't feel like doing it, he's tired, he's sick, he's cranky, or he just plain out don't want to do it. And that's his personality. All of those things are going to exist at one point in time, but we have to learn how to be able to get things done when we don't feel like getting things done. So if the conversation is productive and you have to kind of talk him through it, baby, keep talking that boy through it until you set a timer. Okay, we're going to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it for 3 minutes, okay? And set that timer. Or we're going to talk about it until maybe you're doing your hair. You came into the bathroom. Mom, I don't feel like doing the spelling. Okay, we're going to talk about it until I finish brushing my hair and plaiting it up. Or if you're making something to eat, okay, we're going to talk about it. Or take him to the kitchen. Okay, we're going to talk about it while we're making these sandwiches. And then when we're done, we're done. I remember one of my friend's moms. She was a pageant queen coach, and I remember she said, because when you're in that, like the pageant circuit, a lot of the girls have low self-esteem, even though they're gorgeous. They have low self-esteem, and so they get into that pity talk. And she always said, "You can have a 5-minute pity party. Anything after that is just pitiful, baby." And it worked. Give yourself 5 minutes to accept and acknowledge what you're feeling, what you're going through, and then baby, it's time to go on. So let me know what kind of talk that is. He just doesn't want to do something, especially writing. That was my son, my youngest one. Y'all know I did 2 videos on it. He was reluctant. Not only he didn't like to do it because he felt he didn't know how to do it. Once he figured out how that he could do it, his attitude started to change. And I had to make that change by deconstructing what writing looked like for him. So for you, depending on so you're talking about writing, you might have to blow up the model of what writing looks like. Especially as adults, we have this image of what writing looks like. It doesn't have to be on the computer, it doesn't have to be on notebook paper, it doesn't have to be a subject verb direct object, a nice little clean package. Okay, a lot of good writing is pre-writing. So if you just get him in the mode of thinking, getting those ideas in his head down on paper or written or recorded in any kind of way, something as simple, sure as my name is Nikki on on the internet streets. Today my son was working on his writing, and for my children, color coding, because I color code my kids, but color coding and write, I gotta do, hold on, I don't even have my notebook of notes. Y'all know I gotta take notes. Hold on. Oh, I'll use this one. My son's writing a little journal. We go back and forth. He'll write stuff and I'll write something in response to it. I don't think he'll mind if I tear a page out. Okay. Wait, what did I say? Journal writing? Was I talking about journal writing? Yeah, what was I talking about? Oh my goodness. I need some ginkgo biloba. Writing, I don't know. I need to do writing deconstructed. Deconstructed. Writing deconstructed. Oh, color coding. Color coding. Okay, so when writing is already abstract and it's subjective. So anything you can do to make things tangible and concrete, an anchor that they can hold on to, is going to psychologically and mentally just be a relief for your child. So with color coding, so say you have a basic 5-paragraph essay. So you have your intro slash thesis statement, body 1, body 2, body 3, your body paragraphs, and then your conclusion. So each paragraph is a different color. Okay. Yeah, girl, whatever. Let me tell you, like writing, sensory processing, you got a lot going on. When you're, even if you're just neurotypical, when you see all that print, all that you haven't done. Oh, and one thing, if they are writing on the computer, don't have them write in Times New Roman 12. The font is really tiny and the white space is huge. And hold on, I'm gonna show y'all something. Now, y'all know I have a master's in curriculum design, course development. I can't get it because I got all the lights over here. Let me just I might do a video just on that, just so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. It's called Universal Principles of Design. And one of the worst designs, principles of design, of universal design, especially for children who are still developmentally going, universal design, is called chunking. And chunking is where you group or chunk packets of information. And on a page, March has some books over here. On a page, it I need to, oh my goodness, y'all give me such great ideas. Okay, so I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do a video, rod and staff versus Life of Fred, or math mammoth. Yeah, math mammoth. Now you're gonna see these are math curricula, and well, they're curriculum, okay, because rod and staff is really English language arts. But you'll have a text that's got every inch of that paper covered in text. And then you'll have another curriculum or book, and it's got like a little bit of something here, then it's got a picture here, and a little something here, and then maybe a graph, but it's chunked in pieces, and it gives your eyes visual rest stops. The other book that's got all text, like a college textbook or a medical textbook, it's like driving on the Autobahn at 200 miles per hour. No stop signs, no scenic routes, nothing. It's just straight highway. It becomes like a mirage and you can't focus. Or you're focusing on things that aren't there because it's just overload, versus you're going down a country road, there's fall trees, there are fences, there are animals, the dirt road becomes kind of paid because the taxes were paid over here in this, this neighborhood, and then you got more dirt road, and that is enjoyable. And it gets you to your destination. And when you get to your destination, you've had all this stimulation at a low key level, that now when you're at your destination, you actually feel refreshed versus going zoom, 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 and you're exhausted when you get to your destination. So for writing, look at, or anything that he's resistant to, break out those bad boy books, whatever you're using, even if you're an unschooler, whatever you're using, can you, I'm gonna start giving y'all pageant gems. So one of the mom, she would say, before you leave the house, take one thing off, because we always tend to overdo it. It'd be jewelry, hair stuff, clothes, whatever, rings. Just take one thing off. When you're looking at curriculum, look at, okay, do we need all of this? Do we have to go through all of this today? X one thing off, or take a piece of paper and tape it or paper clip it over something. That's what I talked about in my video, my writing curriculum, that I did a video on because my son was reluctant. You have to chunk it because it's too much information. So whatever he is struggling with, think about first, look at the curriculum. Always look at the curriculum as the culprit. Yeah. Let them be wrong first before you start doing some internal reflection. Look at that curriculum, whatever you're using. Is it too much junk? If your child has the attention span of a gnat, you don't need curriculum heavy. You don't need heavy, long-winded books to use, or workbooks, right? You don't need something where you have to sit with them for 10 minutes to decipher what they're doing. They might need something that's open and go. You don't have to do a lot of prep, and the directions are like 1 or 2 sentences, boom, off to the races. And then it's short, and then they can break mentally and then go on to something else. So think about those things. Hey, Hassan. It's good to see you, love. All right. Let's see. Love for All says, I have one left in homeschooling and we have more of a plan and routine. I like that. I like that. Also, my little has become so much more mature and independent. Yeah. So for the veteran homeschoolers, you know, we go through, it's just like as being parents, you got kids who are getting ready to graduate from high school, and then you have like your younger kids, or you have preschoolers, and then you have your elementary kids who are getting up there, and you start seeing this gap of your life is changing. You're getting older, but your life is changing because your kids are going through their phases of life. And as they get older and closer to adulthood, it starts to get a little bittersweet, and you start thinking, now in my case, I started clutching my pearls. I'm like, no, there's about 200 books we have to read. And so many, as if education stops after 12th grade. But really, I was like getting a little, oh my goodness, not depressed, but just, I was getting anxious because for my middle son, I don't know what he wants to do. Now he's open to homeschooling, but he's really into animation, and there are 2 schools where he could do that, and one's far away and one's not that far down the street. So, we won't know anything until March. So I'm kind of in limbo. I'm like, if he goes to the one that's way over there, I won't see him as much. And then I'll have this, one child, I'll be homeschooling one child, which I did in the beginning with my oldest when his brothers were younger. And that's a whole nother dynamic. And his younger brother, I don't think he wants to be the only one in the house homeschooling. So I don't know. It's going to be a different dynamic. Our house, no matter what, come fall, this house is going to be very differently. And when I saw the change was when, because y'all see, if you see my older videos, our like second living room or entertainment room, I turned it into a homeschool room for like 6, 7, 8 years. And it actually made me cry when I realized we homeschool all over the house. They don't even sit in here anymore. And I had to get over my pride and ego. Man, I bought all this furniture and I set everything up and I have all these posters. And it was me. I couldn't let go. Just like we can't let go of things that our children do because we want to hold on to them as babies. And that was the hardest thing. It took me like 2 weeks to get all that stuff out the room because I would take it out and I'll put it back in. Like, well, what if? What if? It's always that what if, and you can't let go. So finally, I got it out, and I have that room, and now the kids always hang out in it. Ain't that something? They didn't want to be in there when it was a homeschool room, but now that I got couches, the ottoman, we have like a little refrigerator, entertainment section for drinks and stuff like that. They always in there, dropping crumbs on the floor, leaving energy drinks on the side of the couches when there's perfectly good little stool right there. So it's just like a change of life. I don't even know how I got on this topic, but yes, love for all. As our children get older, the dynamic in the house changes. Any suggestions, Malibu? With the writing, let me know. With the writing, let me know what the talk through is. Do you want to come on live? I got time because my one of my sons, his math class starts in 8 minutes, and the other one's in science for an hour. So I have time. So if you want to come on, no pressure, or you can just text me. I mean, in the chat, just let me know. Do you want to focus on writing, math, whatever? Not math because he's fine with that. Or what is that conversation like? And then we can kind of just spitball and figure out what's going on. Let's see. DIY Homeschool 4 says, this school year is going smoother for me because I am making sure that I am better organized. Well, see, that, y'all, a lot of times, I want to blame the curriculum, but I'm trying to be nice. Most of the times it's you. I mean, the collective you, right? It's it's us, and kids know when you are not organized. I tell you, no lies. They know, they smell it, they sniff it out. So and that just comes with time, right? And experience. You have to do something to know this is not working, this is working, keep this, kick this out, rearrange this. This is why I like routines and plans versus a schedule, a time schedule. A time schedule locks you into these artificial constructs. We have to do this at this time, that time. And it's just begging for you to just hit lots of landmines and blow up your day versus after breakfast we do this, before lunch we do this, after a language arts we always do a math, or after math we always do a real easy subject or favorite subject, or not even a subject, maybe something like we cook, or there's quiet reading, or we do what we used to call the genius hour where the kids go and tinker and make something or whatever. So instead, you can still get things done in your day, but you're not tied to that clock. If you want to be tied to a clock, go work. Go work at Amazon because they really tie you to that clock. I need a new one of these. So but then you have to ask, well, how do you? Oh, it's raining now. Y'all, we're getting all this rain in California. It's not bad where I live. Well, it was a little bad like last week. But people are acting all extra. Like people on the East Coast are laughing at us. We're calling things a blizzard here, and they're like, "Oh, that's just a drizzle. It's nothing." But the organization, what does that look like? And actually, I wanted to do a video on organization a long time ago, but I really wanted it to be like a series because that's just really not something you do in one video, at least not a short video, and then something really really long, you start to lose steam. But organization is half the battle, right? You can't find materials. If you were supposed to check their work before they can go on to something else and you didn't check their work and they can't find their stuff, they're those are your bombs during the day. That's hard to recover. And then you're kicking off homeschool. Well, let's just do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and you're still not organized. Well, let's just read and then we'll just do it tomorrow. And then Wednesday's here and you still didn't get your ish done. You know how it adds up. And then next thing you know, it's been 2 months and your kids have only homeschooled for like 5 days out of what, 60? All right. Y'all better talk some truth. Y'all better be real with yourselves. So anyway, Let's see. Hold on. Oh, Aisha Green or Asha Green, 3/4 way through our first year. Yeah, that's a win, girl. We got a newbie, y'all. We got a newbie. 3/4 way through our first year, and it's going well. Although my son mentions he wants to go back to school, I don't look at that as a negative good, because it's not, because that's just something healthy and natural to do. As a matter of fact, that's good, because he was like, oh, I can't stand that school, them crazy teachers, those bully kids, because then you have to acknowledge that he had a really bad experience, but it sounds like he had a good experience. So that's good. I'm challenging myself to find ways to help him enjoy it more. How old is your son? Was that your son? Yeah. How old is your son, Aisha? And is it Aisha or Asha? Is it a long A or short A? And Hassan always coming in to support. So you guys always hear me shout out Hassan, and he's always like the only guy that comes through. We used to take a class together years ago, with Professor Griff, and we used uh he had a class, and then just on his homeschool, I mean his YouTube channel, a lot of people who took some of his classes, we'll always be there just celebrating each other, acknowledging everyone. And so he's always been supportive of everybody, so he's a good guy. Okay, Malibu says it's both. Some of the books he wants to change, but I want to teach him to finish some things even when he doesn't want to. I do not want to change books every time he hits a bump. Absolutely, because people, and kids especially, need to learn how to start things and finish things even when they don't want to. And a lot of times, and I made this mistake with our first spelling or second spelling curriculum, where well ordered language. Well, we got rid of it after 6 weeks, because that would be my time period of trying out something new to see if it worked. And then right when we kicked the bucket, it would have clicked because we went back to it. So you still want to just, unless it's like drawn out meltdowns and it's a real misalignment between the book's style and your child's learning style, then I would say consider something else. But if it's closely aligned to your child's learning style, and what I mean by that is, if your child is, say, a visual learner, and maybe they have visual learner with a short attention span, um, you might not want to choose um, you might want to choose literature-based curriculum, because a lot of it is story-based, and a story, you can always stop it in the middle. You can stop it really anywhere, and the visuals there, and then you can come back to it. Something that's more technical, more um procedure, like for writing, like procedural writing, where first do this, then do this, blah blah. It's, there's no nuance to it. It's just bam, this is it. No deviation from that. Um, you know, might not gel with him, but you need to know what you're looking at with the curriculum versus your child's learning style. And I always recommend to people, take a test, and you can go online, they're real free, and learn what your child's learning style is and what your teaching style is. And then you can kind of choose curriculum that best fits both of you guys. Because what if your teaching style is nowhere like his writing style or his learning style? Maybe your child needs a lot of hands-on stuff, and needs uh, lots of input, and then you're introvert, and you just like, can you, I just give you this and then you figure that out? And you know what I'm saying, like you're more like the techs, not tech like in the tech world, but you're more into, what does it say? Okay, do that. There's with not a lot of interpretation or meaning, or it's more cut and dry. So that would be a mishmash. And then if you throw in a curriculum that's none of that, or is more on your side, it's not going to work for him. But if it's totally on his side, you're going to struggle. So you have to pick the struggle. Do you want to struggle? You want your son to struggle? You both want to struggle? Or you both want to have a little obstacle, maybe a little bit out your comfort zone? But that's, to me, that's a happy medium. The curriculum is not going to be your best to teach or to learn, but you still use it, and you both work through those obstacles because they are absolutely doable. So for you, Malibu, um some of the books he wants to change, well, let me know so we can see if there's a pattern. Is he wanting to change books in his English language arts curriculum? Is he wanting to change books in science? Because then we can start maybe seeing a pattern. Maybe um he's more of a left brain child, or maybe he's more of a right brain child. If he's, more left brain, maybe for books he might like something like The Life of Fred or Beast Academy, where they are story approach curriculum. Or maybe he likes straight to the point, right? Like, I just want to know so I can do this. So we want to get a little bit more information so we can figure out, where is my child coming from? Why is he wanting to change? Is it the time of day that you're doing the work? If he's only having issues with, say, two subjects, say science and spelling, but you do it at 8 o'clock in the morning and 9 o'clock in the morning, or just early in the morning, or you do it later on in the day, or after lunch, something like that. Maybe he doesn't want to do it because he's digesting something, he's still waking up, or he's getting tired. So it's good to write down what you're doing and the subjects that you're doing from beginning to end. And then let's look at, okay, where are the pitfalls? Are you doing this around the right time? Are you doing heavy subjects back to back to back? Maybe that's why he's resistant to what you're giving him, because you could give him anything, but you just gave him uh 5 paragraph essay work, followed by vocabulary work, followed by some hard math work. And then you want to add something else that's heavy? So we want to know what that lineup looks like. So in the end, take a look at what you got. Write it down. That's part of being organized. Write down everything he's doing that day. And if it varies every day, Monday through Friday, write it down from in the morning until the end of your homeschool day. And then the 3 questions you want to ask yourself. Is he doing his hardest subjects? Like, if your child's a morning person, then maybe give him his most challenging stuff in the morning, okay? If your child, like most kids, they're not morning people, give them something to ease into their day, okay? Give them their early wins. So look at, what are you doing? So questions. What are you doing in the morning? How are you starting your homeschool day? Maybe you need to start with some yoga, some meditation, some breath work, some me time. Remember, these are also teaching life skills, okay? Things that they can do when they hit high school, when they hit college, if they want to go to college, the workforce, the family, when they have a family. So you can embed those life skills. How do you start your day? Now, are they doing difficult subjects first? Never. Always, me personally, I say always start with a win, because if your day goes south, at least you got something good and productive done that day. Anything could come up. Grandma can call, baby, I think I done broke my hip. Can y'all come on? Now your day is blown up. But if you start with something that's an easy win for your child in the morning, that gets done, right? So what I do with my kids, I give them 4 little things. It takes like 25, maybe 30 minutes to get them done. They do Duolingo, typing, um, editing, and grammar. and um and the grammar is because there's so many rules and things like that. So I'm like, you know what? We'll just do a little snippet, a little bit every day until you graduate, just so they can start learning more of the advanced nuances of grammar. But I have a little twist on that because they're like grading me. And so it's fun. So it's like 4 things. So no matter what, when they get up in the morning, they do all their other stuff. They sit down and they do that. They knock it out. It's like their warm up. Okay. Also, are you doing, I don't know if I just said this, back to back heavy subjects or subjects that are too similar? So you're doing spelling, vocabulary, writing, and literature. Girl, that's too much. mix it in. Do you need to do all of that every day? Right? Do you need to do it all back to back? You can throw in, some current events. You can throw in, if you're religious, you can throw in some Psalms work or memory work. You can throw in some science. You can throw in like light reading. You know, mix it up. And then the third question is, how are you layering your curriculum? Like, there are two main ways of attacking your homeschool day, um, with your curriculum, and that is block scheduling and loop scheduling. And I think I did a video on that. I might have made it private, but for some people, a loop schedule is good because maybe you have a lot of subjects you want to teach, i.e., spelling, vocabulary, writing, and literature. Look, I got to get all that done. So you do it as a loop schedule where, um, you say you're doing all those 4 subjects plus math, and let's throw in science. That's 6 subjects in a day. Well, six subjects. So you go through all the subjects until y'all get tired, or whenever you end your homeschool day, and wherever you left off, say you left off at writing, spelling, vocabulary, writing, reading, okay? And then what I say, science. Give me one more. I'll just say those 5. And no, you stopped at writing. Monday, you did those 3. Tuesday, what I said the 4th one was? Reading. You pick up here, and then science, and let's just say logic. Make it 6. Logic. And then that's all you guys do. Those are the only things that you're teaching your kids, okay? And then Tuesday, writing, science, logic. That's all y'all got time for. Next day, you finish logic, right? That's the last thing in your list of subjects to teach. You go back to spelling, vocabulary, writing. That's the next day. And then the next day you pick back up. So it's a loop. So you do those subjects, and that's good for people who want to teach a lot of things too. So you have all those subjects, and then you just go in order, and whatever doesn't get done, you save it for the next day, and you just keep going on like that. Block scheduling is where you want to really focus on a few subjects, and you only do it a couple times a week. So maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you want to do history, um, a lot of social studies, science. Block scheduling is good when you have different ages and different grade levels. And to teach all those kids at the same time, those social sciences include plus science are great because it's easy to the age difference and the developmental difference is easier to manipulate. So history, you can always scaffold or differentiate with your questioning verbally or written with your older child versus your younger child, but they're all learning about, you know, um, manifest destiny. You should, Marva Collins brilliantly does this. I did a video on her on, it's one of if there's any book I recommend on teaching, it's Marva Collins. You should watch. It's free on YouTube. It's called The Marva Collins Story. She does a brilliant job of how to teach all these different ages and abilities in one classroom. So Malibu, I'm all over the place. But so look at, maybe I should do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 these subjects, reading, writing, math. And I spend and maybe like say an hour and a half on each subject. The point is you're spending more time on that subject. So whatever you would normally spend teaching, you're going to spend more time on that. And then Tuesday, Thursday, you do what science, current events, whatever is left, but you do it for a longer period of time because you're not doing it every day. So it's all how you want to chop it up. Do you want to do it? It's like going to the gym. If you're trying to get nice and lean, you're going to use lightweight, but for higher reps. So you're going to do this a whole bunch of times because you don't want to get big and buff. You want to get big and buff, you're going to lift heavy weight. Hold on. You're going to lift heavy weight but only for like a couple times, like so you get your result is coming. All right, I thought it was coming. So you get your result, but you're taking a longer way because you chopped yours up differently. You did less with more, whereas the other person did more with a little bit less. So your block schedule will be like your weightlifter trying to bulk up. You're doing just 3, but for like an hour and a half. So not a lot, but but it's the time. You put a whole bunch of time in. And then for the loop, you're doing a whole bunch of them, but you're not spending a lot of time. Okay, you're not doing a whole bunch of time just because you have too many subjects. So not loop, I'm sorry, if you're doing every day. Okay, so I hope that wasn't confusing. If you're going to teach a subject every day, you don't need to do it as long every day. Okay, if you want to go deeper and dive deeper with subjects, just do it a couple times a week. Okay, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Okay. See, Hassan. My mom says no pity parties going on over here. That's right. It got me through the years. No pity parties. And of course, you're not going to believe yourself. After 5 minutes, you're going to keep having that pity party. And if you don't have a friend that's ruthless and that loves you and can call you on your BS, you're going to have to really find a way to turn off that tap of tears or emotions after 5 minutes. And what you can do is like with Atomic Habits, remember it's 1% a day, right? So the thing with Atomic Habits is when you're trying to change that habit, you gotta do 4 main things. You gotta first make it obvious, right? That's the mindset. Okay, make it obvious that I'm trying to change this behavior that I got going on, which is I get too emotional and that be all my feelings and stuff like that. Then you got to make it attractive. Like after you realize you're going to do this, then you got to make it attractive. How can I do it to where I want to stop doing this? What's going to lure me away from the crying and the slouching down the shower wall in tears? Got that from Veep. So whatever you have that's going to lure you away from your pity party, you got to make it attractive. Okay, once you got, you found something, like maybe it's this might not be good. You go buy something nice on Amazon that costs $5 and under. I don't know. You do that. Then you got to make it easy. Okay? If you got to do 15 million things just to get to that thing that's going to make you stop doing the pity party, you ain't gonna do it, right? And then once you've made it obvious and attractive and easy, and then you have to make it satisfying. Is what you're trying to do to pull you away from that pity party, is it enough? Do you feel satisfied doing that after you've gone through all that? So those are just some things to keep in mind when you're just for anything when you're trying to affect a change. Oh, color coding. Thank you. So color coding. I was talking about hey, coffee and cream. Oh, so color coding with the writing. So so when you're looking at the paper, now your eyes can just rest on one color and choose some soothing colors. Your eyes can rest on one color and just focus there. And if your eyes deviate, then your body knows danger, Will Rogers, danger, Will Rogers. Okay. And it can go back to where it needs to be. So those are just little things that we take for granted. But the body is thankful. Excuse me. Your body doesn't want to be looking at all this stuff. It wants to focus on what it needs to focus on. And that's just life. That's just real. Let's see. Love for All says it's definitely bittersweet, but I'm about to be a grandmother, so I pray I live long enough to homeschool. Oh y'all. Oh my goodness. Well, get it out, baby. Oh my gosh. I pray I live long enough to homeschool him. So, oh, that's beautiful. So, um, love for all. Let me bring that back up. Hold on. Um, yes, you're definitely going through some life changes. So, so do exactly what you just said. You know, you keep praying that, well, as we say in the South, um, uh, the creek don't rise, when we're wishing for something to happen, like the next day, oh, I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. If oh my God, I forgot the saying. My mom will be so disappointed. Y'all from the South, what's the saying? And the creek don't rise. It's something and the creek don't rise. So when you're saying you want to do something, you're assuming that you're going to wake up the next day and be able to do that. If that's in God's favor for you, whatever your religious belief is, it's something and the creek don't rise. Lord, I forgot everything. But color coding works. It really works. Hi, VG. Um, so those are little, and I think I did do a video on color coding, but I made it private because I really wanted a visual, and I didn't do a visual. I wanted a whiteboard, and I didn't do it. That's why I hid it. I mean, I made it private, so I have it written down to do the color coding. Um, see, Hassan says I'm going to be in LA in June. Universally permitting, Lord willing. Thank you, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Thank you, Hassan. Oh, hit me out when you're coming out, Hassan. I think you still have my number, or did you ever have my number? But you can just DM me on IG. The real messy homesteader or homeschool knockouts. Just DM me. Yes, Professor Griff. Yes. Um. Okay. Yes. So Professor Griff, he had. I think he's still doing the classes, but this is when he had his very first ever class, like years ago, and Hassan and I were in that class. Hey, Abby. Abby, with all her questions from the last slide, they were wonderful questions. My oldest started out of school when students do work one level above their grade. She fit right in. Parents, if you get frustrated, compare your curriculum with the state. It may be advanced. That, that is really good advice because let me tell you, here in California, if you go to the California Department of Education, it might be something similar in your state. So say like Georgia Department of Education, usually will be like the first initial of your state and then DOE, which is Department of Education. All of that should be the same because federally, um, they all kind of have to be the same, like the website kind of name, but you never know for some states. So your state plus Department of Education. And then ours is not well organized. They make you dig for the information, which I think is intentional. But you're gonna look for curriculum, say fifth grade, okay, or elementary school curriculum, and you'll see what the standards are for that grade level, and you'll be able to see it's not called a vendor list, but that's what I call it, a vendor list. You'll be able to see what's approved for the curriculum for each subject. And they'll tell you, as a matter of fact, I remember when my oldest one, when I was going to homeschool him, so he was going to take some college classes, and I needed to make sure that things would be transferable. And so I distinctly remember for world history, for high school in the state of California, on that website, it said the history had to cover at least 300 years from, I think, 1500 to the 1800s, or at least from the 1500s on up to get the credit. And I think there were like 12 events that had to be within that 300-year time span. And then they had a list of curriculum books or publishers where they were in compliance with those standards. So all of that is there. You just have to dig for it. But or just call up your local school and ask. Some of them don't want to give up the information, but you can be honest and say your perspective, parent, I really want to know how rigorous your school is and what curriculum do they use for math and what they use for writing, and if they don't want to tell you, go to the district site of your school. And by law, they have to list all approved curriculum for each grade level. for every subject. You just have to dig for it. If you can't find it, call the district office and be like, look, where the superintendent is, and ask them, where can I go to find the vendor list for approved curriculum for elementary school? Okay, they all know about it. Hey, baby, you have piano? What time is piano? 2? Oh, shoot. Okay. All right. I knew I had too much time on my hands. All right, so I gotta get ready to go. Let me just get through these questions really quickly. Okay, Longe. Okay, Aisha. Okay, good. I got that. Some like Abeka are 1 grade above. Yes, a lot of the religious texts, very rigorous because they are a grade level above. I don't dictate when he does what with his subjects. I make a list of books to complete each day. He chooses the order with drawing breaks when he gets overwhelmed. Okay, guys, I like this. This is pretty successful. We are going to have to come back for this. If you can remember your questions, just screenshot it. Or I'll just take a screenshot and then we can come back to this. Oh, good. You have the book? Excellent. I have to take my son to piano. I totally forgot about it. But listening to you, I think he may prefer books that are open and go. I may have to revisit some of the curriculum books and do workbooks instead of literature-based books. There you go. See, that's all part of the process of figuring things out, trying it out, and then get rid of it. Get rid of it, Lord willing. Right? And the creek don't rise. That's right, Malibu. All right, so hey Danielle, I'm about to go. We've been on here for 51 minutes. I think this might be a good time. I know I said I would put what do you call it? A poll up to see what's a good time for a lot of people, because I have different times each day. So, but this looks like it's a pretty good time. I just have to remember piano. So I'm going to get out of here and then I'll put a poll up with the times that work for me. And then you guys can see what works for you guys. I might not keep to it, but at least I tried. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Next time, bring more questions. I love the interactivity. I would love for some of you to come in and just talk. We love you guys. I'm telling you, moms and dads just want to see other people and see what they're going through. There's no judgment. There's no, girl, you doing this? There's none of that. Okay. Because y'all know what y'all doing behind closed doors because nobody's looking. Okay. So there's no judgment. All right. Okay. I'm coming, Jackson. All right. Love you guys. But we got like 6 minutes. So it only takes like 3 minutes to get there. All right. You want to be there early. All right.